Jessica, thank you so much for joining me today. As you know, we've been doing a series that's called Industry Icons, and I happen to come across some of your posts on social media, and I see that you're not only really crushing it in business, but you also look like you're having a lot of fun. So I just wanted to get started by first, maybe if you can introduce yourself, tell me a little bit about, how long you've been in this business, what it's been like for you. Let's go ahead and get started with maybe just those simple questions.
My name is Jessica Rojas, and I'm a broker owner of Realty Executive Signature Homes in Elmwood Park, New Jersey. I have been involved in the real estate industry since '97. Different aspects of real estate. Started off, working out at law offices, doing closings and managing buildings and dealing with landlord tenant and real estate closings. Then went on to the mortgage industry, and then later went into selling real estate. So all different aspects since '97, but it has definitely been an amazing ride, and I love what I do.
Now you're a broker, owner of an office, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. How did you transition into that? Because I know a lot of agents, they think to themselves, that's kind of like the top of the totem pole kind of mindset that, you pay your dues, you're a real estate agent, maybe you run a team, and then maybe one day, if you're lucky enough, you can open up your own brokerage. What would you say to someone, and how was your experience along the way?
I've got to tell you, it's not for everybody. Okay, it's definitely not for everyone. There are a lot of amazing real estate agents that absolutely do not feel like that's the next step. They are completely successful with their teams in a brokerage without actually becoming an owner of a brokerage, because that puts a lot of different things into play. And just because you're an amazing sales rep doesn't necessarily mean you want to own a brokerage, start the recruiting, the retention, deal with the profit and loss and everything else that comes in with owning a brokerage. Myself, I decided from day one that was part of my business plan. I want to be able to help other agents grow. I want to be able to see other people reach their successes and their dreams and their goals. And that's one of the reasons why I became a business coach, because through this process, in order for me to grow this brokerage, I had to also learn how to grow and teach people and learn about retention and growth. So that helped me tremendously, which in turn has helped the agents.
Okay, so you said a lot of key things there, and I'm not sure if the audience caught it, but I caught it. You said since day one, you had a business plan. Does that mean since day one that you were a real estate agent, you already had a business plan that you were going to be a broker one day?
That is correct.
So tell us about your first year then. Your first year had to be record breaking, or was it kind of like just learning the ropes? What was that like?
My first year, I actually was awarded Rookie of the Year by the board because of the fact, like I said, from the beginning, having a business plan. I went in 110%. Whatever I was told, I did. And pretty much everyone is going to be told the same thing, but different people act upon their goals differently. I'm a very action-oriented type of a person. And so, having a regimented schedule, making sure that I'm constantly going back and reviewing those goals and making sure that my actions are in alignment with that goal is something that I have made sure to do from day one. And, that's something that has helped me significantly. So I always help others do the same.
So what does a business plan look like for a real estate agent? I know that, obviously everybody has the brokerages I've worked for, they hand out these business plan things at the beginning of the year, every year, and then they kind of walk you through these steps. But was your business plan any different than what most brokerages offer their agents, or was it just something that was very simple?
I have a very detailed plan, very, very detailed plan. So it's not just about the number, how to get that number, how many calls you need to make or things you need to do to get that number, but I have it really broken down daily, weekly, monthly, annually, every 5 years, every 10 years. I definitely want to see that growth happening. So it's very detailed. I'm a very spreadsheet oriented type of a person, as they would call it, analytic, right? I do like to track and measure absolutely everything that I do to make sure that I end up with the results that I want. And I do that with all aspects of my life, with my physical training, with my mental training, as well as my professional training.
What was the biggest needle mover for you as an agent when you first got started? I mean, for whoever's watching this, they must want to know, what is it that I should put most of my time or effort into? What was that thing that kind of made the biggest impact for you?
Put your time and effort as a new agent into your sphere of influence. You don't realize who is in your sphere. The people that you give business to, ask for that business to be reciprocated, right? There's a lot of people that are in your sphere that you don't tap into as a new agent. And when I started, the Facebook wasn't really big. It was looking at my little black book and calling every single person. So it's like, it's easier now. You have an easier outlet to use. So use that to your advantage. And that's why so many amazing millennials are doing so well, because they know how to use that to their advantage. And that's something that you should use. I don't know anything about recording a TikTok. I just had to get somebody to do it for me because I had to be evolving. You have to be ever evolving in this market, right? And in any business.
So you're telling me a real estate agent can just grab their cell phone and just go through the 2,000 contacts they have and try to build their business from that?
A lot of people feel uncomfortable asking people they know for business. And ultimately, these are the people that already know, like, and trust you. So tap into them first, right? You're going to build business elsewhere eventually. There's a lot of tips and there's a lot of different things that you can do. But start with the people you know. Start with the people you give business to already.
Do you think that maybe agents don't do that because they feel they're going to, it's going to be an awkward conversation? And maybe if it doesn't work out, they're gonna lose that person from their sphere? Do you think they kind of say no for that person without the person ever getting the ability to say no?
100%. What stops us is fear. That's what stops us from everything. Our own limiting beliefs, right? And I just came back from an amazing conference where I had someone talking about their fears, facing their fears. And that was the best type of content anyone can hear, because you hold yourself back from growth because of fear.
That's awesome. Of course, all the best things in life are on the other side of fear. That's for sure. Absolutely. So now that you laid out that groundwork, you laid out that business plan, you were a successful agent right from the start, rookie of the year. What were some of the main problems that you had as a real estate agent that you didn't know existed? Like, were there some things that kind of were like, okay, well, I didn't plan for this, or maybe there was an event or something that happened along the years that you were starting to become a successful agent that was kind of like, oh wow, this was a big learning lesson. Is there anything you could share with us? Is
not to expect respect, right? Respect. So as a Latina, respect is really big for me, right? And my coach had to teach me. She's like, Jessica, you're smarter than that. There's no respect in business. This is business, right? So don't expect respect in business. It's a business transaction. It's not an emotional transaction.
Wow, don't expect respect. And that comes in all forms, and not just from your clients, but from other real estate agents too?
100%. I mean, ultimately, when you give, do not give with the expectation of receiving. You give to give, and that's it. Help people grow, and they move on. But it's not because you're expecting them to appreciate, respect, and reciprocate. It's just to give.
Got it. So leave your entitlement at the door. If you were successful at what you were doing before, that doesn't mean you're going to be successful in real estate, is what you're saying. We got to pay our dues and work our way up.
Everyone does. Everyone pretty much does. I mean, that's the amazing agents out there. They've paid their dues. They've done what they need to do. And everybody can do that. It's a choice.
Absolutely. So now it's time to kind of inspire people. Let's inspire people a little bit. Tell us, how many closings did you have year one? For all our new agents who might be watching this.
Okay, so year one, I had 18 closings.
Okay.
For a new agent, 18 closings. Yeah. But it was interesting because the way I got it, my first day as a real estate agent, I did what I was told to do, contact my sphere. So I started calling everybody that I knew, and I got a return phone call from someone who was my son's godfather and said, yes, I do. I need to sell my house, but it's a short sale. No problem. I'll see you there tonight at 7 o'clock. I hang up the phone, go to my manager. I'm like, what's a short sale? So bottom line is that became my niche without me realizing. And that's why I say it's ever evolving. Your business plan, you have to check it every week, at least for 15 minutes, because it may go in a different direction that may benefit you, right? So I ended up learning about short sales. I ended up getting certified as a distressed property expert. And what I did is, at the time, I sent out a blast email to all other agents saying, hey, if you have this type of a client, I'll take them on, I'll give you a referral. And I got all these referrals. People didn't want to deal with it.
No one wanted anything.
No one wanted anything to do with a short sale.
Yeah. But you took them.
Yeah, I came from my legal background. The paperwork to me was not a problem. Making the calls, following up, not a problem. So I just took it on. And so most of my deals, my first year, were all short sales.
Tell us about your most prosperous year. What was some of the numbers that you did, and let's say the best year you've ever had? Maybe that's this year, or maybe it was in 2019, or can you tell us about what was the pinnacle of your production?
The pinnacle of my production, I have to always go back to my coach, because it was, my goal wasn't about my personal production. It was about the office production. So this year and the year before COVID, okay, were my best years because my agents outproduced me. And that's my goal. That was my goal. It wasn't, I want to step out of here. I can't be the one, it's not sellable if you're the only one producing in a brokerage, right? So
It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. So it was a big win. And I mean, I got so emotional when I saw my agents outproducing me. And I'm like, yes, now that's a win.
The fact that you said that really kind of reiterates what I believed over the years. So I would assume that means that your agency had a awesome year. You guys must have done a few hundred transactions, I would say, if you had to quantify that for our audience. What do you think, a few hundred?
Yes, correct. That is correct. And I got to be honest with you, I am never, ever the type to post on social volume, this amount, units, this amount, because you know what? That's not about my clients. That's about me.
No.
And I don't, and it's more about, God, how many people did we help through COVID? This crazy year.
Yes.
You know, that to me is much more important than that number. So that's why I don't ever talk about that number out there, because that to me is not what's important. What's important is the client, right?
You're right. You're right. Absolutely. 100%. How many people can we serve? The more you can serve, the more you can give, the better you'll do. And a lot of people have a hard time believing that and understanding, but you can't receive with a closed fist. You know, you have to be able to give of yourself and give of your knowledge.
Absolutely.
What does Jessica's day look like? Since you're such a successful entrepreneur, successful lady, you're a mother, what time of day do you wake up? You know, what is your day kind of? Can you walk us through a typical day that Jessica has so we can kind of feel? Because a lot of people out there be like, oh, I'm so busy, but maybe when they hear you, like, oh my God, now how does she manage all of that stuff? I'm sure you'll give us some of your secrets, but can you walk us through that?
Absolutely. And first of all, thank you for saying all of that, because I don't take those words lightly. And by the way, it's not overnight, guys. You know, to be told that I'm successful, I don't take lightly, because it took a lot of failure. And a lot of people don't talk about that. But I'm going to answer your question as far as my daily schedule. I do wake up at 5 a.m. and it's a routine. I'm almost to the point of predictable, because everybody knows my schedule. My office knows my schedule. They know when I'm working out. They know when I'm doing things. So 5 a.m. I start off my day with my affirmations. And I always wake up, as soon as my eyes open, I'm thanking God just for another day. You know, I start my gratitude list the minute I open my eyes. So my affirmations, my gratitude, by 5:30, I'm working out, and I work out till 7:30. That's my time, right? And I know that's a long time, but that's my time. And then my son, I have an 18-year-old right now, and he's autistic, so he needs my assistance typically every morning to make sure he's getting going and doing what he needs to do. So I get him out between the 7 and 7:30. That's why it's so long. That's why I said 5:30 to 7:30. So between 7 and 7:30, I'm making sure I get him out the door and then shower. And while I'm showering, I am listening to my morning motivation. So I always listen to something inspirational that I share with not only my agents of my office, share it with my family, and I share it with my coaching clients. I have 27 coaching clients. So I send out that morning motivation. We all listen to it. I get in my car, get in my office. I'm never here later than 9 o'clock in my office. And I start with my first thing is going through every single email that went through from the night before, right? Because at a certain time, I will not look at emails anymore, because it's my son's time. It's my time and my son's time. So at a certain time, I will not look at my emails. So as soon as I come in, it's definitely listening to messages that came in overnight and emails that came through. During the day, while I'm in front of someone, I give them 110% of my time. I am not looking at emails while I'm in front of someone. I am not answering a phone call while I'm in front of someone. So I will make sure that I have certain segments of the day that I review the email and my messages. While I'm in a Zoom, like I said, right now, I will, God forbid, I stop this right now to take a call, right? So I always like to give the people that are in front of me my undivided attention. Now, as far as my schedule, I have 5 zones to a business schedule, and this comes from my coach, right? So it's administrative time, which I call my yellow time. My personal time is my purple time because that's my son's favorite color. My blue time is my skill building time. So I always want to create time for new skills, right? Whether it's that I'm looking at the MLS to see what's new on the market, what's going on, market updates, right? Or reading. I try to take at least 20 to 30 minutes of reading, and I do that before bed, and I'll get to that. And then there's appointment setting time and money making time, your green time. Appointment setting, red, green time. I have everything color coded on my calendar, right? Wow. So I break it down so that I always have those 5 zones in my business day. And so once I've done my administrative, once I've done my appointment setting, which is all scheduled in my day, and my money making, when I leave this office with my son, it is his time. That's it. I'm not looking at my emails. While I'm driving, I'll answer a call. But once I've hit my house, my agents know that I'm not going to be answering the calls. Text messages in between, if he's settled and they sent me something, I'll respond to a text. But I'm not going to be sitting there working while I'm home, okay? And before bed, so I do meditation. I do a gratitude. My son and I actually do our gratitudes right before dinner. And reading at least 10 minutes, and that's not a lot, so usually I'll try to get an hour in and go to bed. Now, the meditation I do right before bed, it helps me clear my mind, because if not, my mind is just really going. And that's pretty much my daily schedule.
What time are you off and you're with your family mode? What time is that normally for you?
Normally, I try not to leave here any later than 6, normally.
That's nice. That's great. And then what time are you in bed? Because it's not so important what time you get up in the morning as to is what time are you sleeping at night. So what time do you typically, because people don't understand how important sleep is. What time do you go to bed?
9.
9? Oh my God, that's amazing.
Like, seriously, I know that sounds crazy, but yeah, people that know me know that I go to bed early. I need good sleep. You know, I need good quality sleep. And that's why the meditation really helped. There was a mindset challenge that we did in January that my coach did with us for 30 days. And that helped me tremendously learn how to meditate before bed to clear my mind and get a better night's sleep.
So you mentioned you do a lot of reading. What are you currently reading right now? Or is there a book that you would recommend to everyone as a must read? So
right now, I just started last night. Oh my God, what is it called? 5 Idiots.
5 Idiots.
Yeah, that's the name. I actually have to look up the name, but it's something called 5 Idiots. I just got it from Summit. We just came back from a coaching seminar, and it talks about personality traits and how to really deal with different personalities. So it starts off saying everybody's an idiot, including you, because it's hard to understand different personality traits. And so you're just thinking everybody's an idiot. It's not. It's just you have to learn how to deal with everybody's personality.
Now, I have to ask you this because my audience would probably kill me if I didn't ask you this. Who is this mystery coach of yours? Is it Tony Robbins, or who is coaching Jessica Rojas right now?
I am a big Tony Robbins client. So I've done Unleash the Power Within, Date with Destiny, and had coaching with Tony. Yes, that's more for the mindset for me, okay? But Tom Ferry is my main coach when it comes to real estate and business. In that sense, he is the #1 real estate coach. And so I've been with Tom over 5 years now, and I have 2 coaches. I have one particularly to grow the business, and then I have one for me as a coach to provide more value to my clients. So those are the coaches that I've been referring to.
So tell us about that business that you have. You have a coaching business on the side, aside from being a broker, which I don't know how you do it. Just being a broker seems like so much on your plate. What kind of coaching do you offer? Is it more like business coaching, life coaching, or is it only for real estate agents?
It's business coaching, and I have real estate and mortgage agents that I coach.
If somebody wanted to learn more about that, how would they be able to find your information?
They can definitely find me on Instagram, Facebook, Jessica Rojas Broker, and Tom Ferry. You can always sign up with Tom Ferry, and we have about 170 coaches that I was with last week. All of them amazing coaches at the end of the day. So whoever they end up wanting to work with is great. But if they choose to, they can always ask to have me as a coach.
Can you share with us the most proudest moment that you've had while being a real estate agent, something that you've been able to accomplish, maybe as a result of your hard work in real estate, or maybe it's something that you impacted or family you impacted while you were helping them? Can you share that with us?
Absolutely. It just happened this year. My coach and I cried together because I set really high goals for myself, as you all should, right? There is no glass ceiling. You end up, limiting yourself without realizing it. So I set really high goals, and one of the major goals, was to have, of course, financial stability. As I said, I failed a lot and I lost a lot throughout this process, So it was starting from ground zero, and building from there. So like I said, a lot of people don't like talking about failure, but that's what happens, right? You have to grow from there. So having a certain amount of money saved, no debt, and being able to help my mother at this point in her life where she, is retired and she hasn't been well. That was one of the biggest goals that I can ever say that I can ever reach. And it was something that was huge for me. And that was something I was able to accomplish this year.
So to sum it up, you got what you felt was your financial freedom, and now you're able to also help your mother who hasn't been working?
And the financial freedom I always mention my mother because that's my queen, that's my number one. That was the biggest thing that I ever wanted to do, was help her. But having the financial freedom to help anyone that you want to help, right? And that's beautiful to be able to say, you know what? Yes, I want to help this person, and be able to, because I've always wanted to, I just wasn't able to.
Nice, good for you. You deserve it. I'm sure you're very humble. I'm sure everyone that's watching this can agree you're a very humble person. So thank you so much, Jessica. I know I've taken up a lot of your time today. You've been very generous with us, giving us some of the ins and outs of what makes a person successful in this business, and the mindset that you brought from day one. Oof.
Something, it's about having faith, right? Having faith, and faith means seeing something that's not there yet, right? So you have to be able to truly believe in yourself. You all have the capability of doing anything you want to do. It's just having faith.
I totally agree. Thank you so much for these words, very inspirational. If anyone wants to find Jessica, I'm sure you can find her at all of these handles that I'm putting down here on the bottom of the screen. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you next time. Check you out.